Hey guys, SweetBananaGaming here, coach of your Orlando Solgaleo, here with a Week 4 PGBL team overview. Week 4, I'm actually recording this after my Week 1 battle because, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be gone pretty much the entirety of January, so all of my battles that I calculated are supposed to take place in January. I'm trying to do those now, so I have no idea at this point in time how battles number 2 and 3 went. So you guys know more about that than I do, but I'm just coming off of Week 1, so I'm here to go over my strategy for the Motown Marowaks. So, kind of getting started here, one thing that's interesting is that by the time you guys see this, the teams that I'm battling in advance might have, made some trades or something. So as of right now, I'm currently battling the Motown Marowaks in the team they have as of Week 2, basically. So anyway, as you can see on your screen, that current is Mega Pidgeot, Tapu Bulu, Entei, Alolan Marowak, Cresselia, Dragalge, Piloswine, Vikavolt, Keldeo, and Flygon. So I'm going to do here a quick team overview. There are a couple of things that I'm going back and forth on again, but I think I have a decent prep. One thing I learned from Week 1 is that I want to try and make sure that no Pokemon completely wall me, and well, we're here to go over that. So actually, first on to that note, we have the Mega Absol. There we go, and with a set here, mostly an offensive set this time. Not trying any tricks. In Week 1, again, I can't refer to Weeks 2 and 3 because I haven't done them yet, but Week 1 I had a very specific set that only worked on a particular Pokemon, and given my opponent did not bring the Pokemon, it made my Absol set almost useless, not quite useless, but fairly useless. So this one I'm going with an offensive set for coverage. The current set I have on here right now is Swords Dance, Psycho Cut, Sucker Punch, and Knockoff. Psycho Cut to give myself 2-hit KO for Dragalge and Keldeo, which Dragalge is a pretty decent wall, and it's just an option to do some good damage. Now, if I get a boost with Swords Dance, I could, be in 1-hit KO range for both of those Pokemon, which would be good. The only thing I'm questioning is whether I will actually have a chance to set up a Swords Dance. And, hello, Sarge. How are you? Yes. Sorry for the interruption, but Sarge is deciding to play with me. Alright, back, Sarge. Back. Later. No, later, Sarge. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. But, okay. Let me explain why I have all these moves here, and then I'll explain what I'm considering doing differently from what I have currently. So Psycho Cut is there for super effective damage and physical damage on Dragalge, and then also super effective hit on Keldeo. Now whether it actually stay in on Keldeo, I don't know. If it's Scarfed, I wouldn't be able to outspeed it. If it's not Scarfed and I'm just sacking off Absol or something, I could do some good damage to it before getting taken out. If I am +2 Swords Dance, I could completely knock it out. Or just, if it's already low, if I'm in a situation where I have to 1v1 it, and it's already taken some damage, that's what that's for. Sucker Punch is there mostly for Pokemon such as Vikavolt, although not less so for Vikavolt, but potentially Vikavolt and Flygon. Anything that outspeeds me, I guess, too. It works for Mega Pidgeot, I guess, a little bit, but mostly for Flygon, if it potentially starts setting up Dragon Dance. And so let's say one turn I'm in on it, and I have to check, maybe it can 1-hit KO me in the first place, but let's say turn 1, it sets up a Swords Dance, I get Knockoff, and that brings it to below half, or about half, I guess, and then I can finish it off with a Sucker Punch. I have priority there. Even if I get a low roll on both Knockoff and Sucker Punch, those two together should guarantee to KO the Flygon, unless he has some defensive investment, and which I think for Flygon, you'd probably run max attack, max speed, if you're going to do a Dragon Dancing set, but I have to keep in mind, again, from my experience in Week 1, that people could run different sets and surprise you, but I feel like with Flygon, he kind of works best. You have to maximize his speed and maximize his attack to take advantage of Dragon Dance. Could be Choice Scarfed as well. To make up for that. Yes, Sarge, I know, I will let you out when I'm done with this. I don't know if you can hear Sarge meowing over the microphone, but he is. Anyway, enough distraction, Sarge. There we go, back to, alright, so knockoff. Knockoff one-shots Alolan Marowak, not that it would stay on me. So for some reason, Showdown likes to crash on me, but, oh well, we're just gonna try to keep going. Anyway, 2 shots to the Dragalge, and 1 shot to Alolan Marowak. Knockoff just kinda good. Probably will also be good for the Piloswine to knock off that Eviolite, make it a lot easier to take care of. Because as much as I'm trying to make sure nothing, my main lesson is to make sure nothing walls me, and being able to maybe get rid of Leftovers Recovery on Cresselia, for example, get rid of the Eviolite on the Piloswine. Those are 2 good examples of why knockoff would come in handy. Now what I'm considering, however, is potentially replacing something with superpower as another option to do some good damage to the Piloswine if it continues to wall me. Now obviously the first thing I would go for is knockoff on it if I'm facing it with Absol, but if I get into a situation and I need to do big damage to it, superpower could be a good option. What would I get rid of? My first thought was Sucker Punch, but I don't want to get rid of that priority option. And then the other thought was Swords Dance, but Swords Dance can help me out in other situations, so I don't know, I'm going back and forth. Probably if I run knockoff, I'll run some additional calcs and maybe see if the Piloswine gets the Eviolite knocked off. Maybe I'll do much better. The only thing is, I don't have any other fighting type moves on this current set that I'm running, so everything else is special fire type attacks. Well, no, that's not entirely true, but mostly I have special fire type attacks, but this thing could run Thick Fat. But then, anyway, that's my thought. I think I'll probably stick with this set because knockoff should suffice for me, but it's an option to throw superpower on there as well in place of either Swords Dance or Sucker Punch. Probably not Sucker Punch because I need that priority option in case Flygon starts setting up on me. Anybody else get set up? I mean, Tapu Bulu can bulk up, but Sucker Punch is not really going to help me there, and I'm faster than it anyway. I might as well go for a Psycho Cut, or something that's going to be neutral. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to return with Trapinol. I have to spell it differently so that it's less, well, anyway, enough of that. I won't go into that. This is Alright, so we have the same set, the same pretty standard Naganadel set. In week 1, I went with the Poisonium Z because I was expecting lots of fairies, and ended up coming back to bite me because I wasn't running the Dragonium Z. And in this case, my job is a lot easier because literally the only fairy here is Tapu Bulu. So I have a lot less to worry about from running Dragonium Z, and Dragonium Z does massive damage to a lot of things. One shot the Vikavolt, which I only mentioned because I don't have a whole lot of type advantage over it on this team. One shot the Dragalge, which would be good if it's getting stubborn, because it can wall a few things on my team. Almost, on a high roll could one-shot the Entei. I don't think I'm going to need to use it on Entei, but it's an option. It does a lot of damage to a lot of things. And just a plain old Draco Meteor is a 2-shot for a lot of things, or if I get +2 with a Nasty Plot, that can do a lot of damage as well. Sludge Wave, completely unboosted, I can one-shot the Tapu Bulu. Sludge Wave also, as an option, can get Keldeo it can be within 2-shot range for Keldeo if I don't feel like missing. Also means that any of these things that are in 2-hit KO range for Pokemon will be 1-hit KO if I do manage to get up a Nasty Plot, which is what I would hope for. Fire Blast, on the highest roll possible, I could one-shot the Vikavolt, which again, I could potentially have a Nasty Plot boost if I have the proper opportunity. I'm trying to think what the best thing would be. As much as Tapu Bulu, it's interesting because as much as Tapu Bulu could block a Devastating Drake, being Fairy type, Tapu Bulu also does not want to switch into me. I suppose Tapu Bulu can learn Earthquake? With that being said, the Grassy Terrain weakens Ground type moves, so I don't know what the probability of that is. Can it learn Earthquake? I'm gonna check that later on. I haven't done, again, I haven't run all of my calcs, but I want to make sure I get this recorded while I have an opportunity. And, but yeah, Tapu Bulu is not necessarily going to want to switch into this thing. I'm not sure what else I could use as setup fodder, really, but you never know, I could get the opportunity. Actually, the Vikavolt might be a good opportunity to set up. I have a few, let's see, Entei actually I believe doesn't get Earthquake. I remember that whole discussion, like Arcanine gets Earthquake and Entei doesn't, and they're similar stature and body type, and they're both fire types. Who else could be dangerous? I mean, the Marowak will hit hard, so I don't want to set up against that. I'm not sure if I would set up against anything necessarily, but Vikavolt might be an option. Tapu Bulu may be an option. Something that I think will switch out for me, depending on what I find out about their sets. But anyway, for Naganadel, I will pretty much keep it out of battle until the last possible moment, most likely. That's the general way to run this thing. Just for cleanup sweeping at the end. Keep it out of battle as long as possible till the end, and just use it to try to destroy what's left. And that's about it. There's not much nuance to be had with Naganadel. It's easy to predict, it's just really strong, and that speed stat as well. Alright, we're having a Clefable set. Now this Clefable set is specifically designed to 1v1 a specially or physically defensive, I guess, Cresselia. Because Cresselia is notorious, just stall you out, toxic you, and it's really hard to hit. So this Clefable is meant to completely counter that. I can go, come in. First of all, I am Calm Nature, max HP, max special defense, and so Cresselia can't even 3-shot me, I don't think, without being boosted. So if it tries to Toxic me, I'm Magic Guard, I won't take any toxic damage. I can Toxic it. In fact, if I switch in on it and he knows that I'm Magic Guard, I could just throw out a free Toxic. Now he'll probably would want to switch the Naganadel into it, so I do have to keep that in mind. But I have the possibility of just getting a free Toxic off, or maybe I'll just get Zesty and throw out a free Moonblast on there. But basically this set, and I'm gonna want to do a better job of preserving Clefable than I've done in the past, because again, this will be the thing to take on Cresselia. I think, in most circumstances, barring, you know, fluke critical hits, I mean, it could Thunder Wave me as well, but at least then it can't directly take me out. I can 1v1 the Cresselia, just Toxic it and wait it out. And just Calm Mind boost maybe if I end up against it. Just that's about it. That's what it's designed for. It's also designed as a special wall. It's designed where Mega Pidgeot can't 2-hit KO it. It gets in 3-hit KO range at best with Hurricane. So it's another option there. If it comes in, I'll just Toxic it maybe and move on from there. That's what that's for. Pretty much it. Also to have a special wall, because as you'll see soon, I have 2 physical walls on this team, and Clefable will be my special wall. Alright, next is a very interesting Lycanroc set. I actually got recommended from Striker Hero just as something to try. It's a little bit of a gimmick, and I don't know if this is necessarily the best set to run, given all the Pokemon on this team that are weak to Rock, which is a lot of them. Now, the Stealth Rock, on the one hand, is a good thing to run. I want to run Stealth Rocks on this, but this Focus Sash set is intended to get up the Stealth Rock, Endeavor on something, and then if I happen to not die, the next turn, then to go with Accelerock. I'm not sure whether I want to run that set, although I do think I want to run Stealth Rock on it either way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly about this set just yet, but it's an option. It's something interesting to consider. I have to check what Accelerock would do against some of these other Pokemon, like Entei and Pidgeot and Marowak and oh yeah, how many of Entei, Pidgeot, Marowak, and Vikavolt are all weak to Rock? So I might even consider swapping something for Stone Edge. Maybe not doing the whole Endeavor, maybe not doing the whole Endeavor gimmick. I don't know. It's an idea. It could be fun, but and it could be fun to do in general, although when I look at this team, now that I kind of see it in front of me, all the Rock weaknesses, I'm thinking running Stone Edge might be a good idea. I should outspeed barring any speed boosts or any, what's the words, Choice Scarf. Barring any of those, I should outspeed all of his weaknesses, all of his Rock weaknesses, except for the Mega Pidgeot. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into that a little bit more. Now it's that's one of those things where I was just it was just that set was just kind of there, and then as I see all these Pokemon in front of me, I'm starting to realize what a rock weakness they have. So I'm gonna go back and look on that. But that's an idea for now. Even if I don't use it in this battle, it's kind of a cool little gimmick set that I might want to try out in a later battle. Alright, next let's go to my Solgaleo. I'm actually running, for the first time that I've tried, I'm running a bulky Solgaleo set. Water type, bold nature, and this EV spread is wrong. I didn't adjust. I actually did some calculations to try and enable it so that any of his physical heavy hitters could not 2-hit KO me. And this was the spread I arrived at. Max HP, 92 defense, and 160 special attack. Now, the one thing that I did, I don't know how the calcs ended up different, but it did end up saying that the Alolan Marowak could still 2-hit KO me with Shadow Bone if it runs a what's the Thick Club, which pretty much I'm pretty sure it always does, because it's the main thing that makes it viable. But basically everything else on here is designed for taking hits and not being 2-hit KO'd. And let me see, what else did I have here? I had the oh yeah, I mean Ice Beam, even non-stab, even, you know, with no or not a lot of special defense, well, special attack investment, with not, I'll put it this, with not maximum special defense investment. You know, come to think of it, I just had a realization that I think I did my EV spread wrong, but that's another story. I mean, in my actual game, I'm just like reading this to myself, but anyway, where was I? The Ice Beam is to take out the Flygon. It also can 2-hit KO the Mega Pidgeot easily if he's not running like defensive investment. And let's see, Thunderbolt, same thing, can 2-hit KO the Mega Pidgeot. And the main reason the Thunderbolt was there as well, oh, I didn't check the Keldeo. I didn't check what it could do to the Keldeo. Oh, it is also a 2-shot on the Keldeo as well. Let me write that down here, because I got my calcs open, because I'm trying to figure out how I ended up with Marowak being able to 2-hit KO me, even though I had planned for it not to. And I think, no, I don't know, but I still think I ran the calcs wrong, which unfortunately there's no easy way to go back and check that with the way it is in Ultra Sun and Moon. But I don't know, apparently Marowak can still 2-hit KO me with Shadow Bone. However, the fact that if I run Surf on it, I can easily 1-hit KO it. Like, I have to get the lowest possible low roll not to 1-hit KO it. Like, 99.2 is the lowest percent I can do to it. So he'd have to think twice before staying in on me. And I think what was, oh, I wanted to check too. With max speed investment and me with no speed investment, unless he's Jolly, maybe? Nope, even if he's Jolly, I outspeed him with no speed investment, so I really don't have to worry about that either. So I'm looking pretty good there. The one thing I'm not sure about is what to run on that last Parting Shot. Parting Shot is generally what I would go for, just an idea to pivot out of there. But what I'm not sure of is, let's see, Parting Shot, or whether to run Parting Shot or Flamethrower for the Vikavolt, although granted it wouldn't do that much, and I don't want to stay in on Vikavolt anyway, so it doesn't matter. Or whether to run Defog, just in case, because I don't have any other hazard removal on this team. I'm not sure what on his team would set anything. I mean, Dragalge could set up Toxic Spikes, but I can get rid of them with Naganadel if I need to, although it would, you know, kind of force me to send it out early, perhaps. But, I could also send in Clefable to take him without a big deal. I mean, I have Mega Absol to deter hazard setting, for sure. I guess Flygon can set rocks. I know Piloswine can set rocks. In fact, that would be, if I had to guess, his most likely rock setter. So I don't know, I may run Defog instead of Parting Shot, but I'm not sure. This is just the idea for now. Anyway, moving on to the last Pokemon, we're bringing in Paul here with a classic set with one change, Ice Beam instead of Slack Off, which I am a little concerned about not having the Slack Off option. However, I do still have Regenerator, so I do have an option for restoring health. It's just gonna be less practical to get stat boosts, and then, you know, I won't be able to heal as much. But main idea here is Calm Mind, or without any Calm Mind boost, Ice Beam can one-hit KO Flygon, and I can tank hits from Flygon pretty easily with Slowbro, providing he hasn't gotten, you know, Dragon Dance boosts off. Psyshock is an easy to hit KO for Dragalge, so again, the more boosts I get, the better that is for me. Scald, unboosted, almost one-shots the Alolan Marowak. Now again, I don't really, Alolan Marowak can't one-shot me with Shadow Bone, but it's not something I want to 1v1, it's just like, if I need to send it out and finish off the Marowak, maybe. And then I can two-shot the Entei, so again, with Calm Mind boost, these will all do more. If I can get just 2 Calm Mind boosts, I can one-shot a lot of his team, actually, if I just get 2 Calm Mind boosts. So, not to say I can tank everything, but I can offensively, I'm pretty much set for a lot of his team. In fact, I need to check what Psyshock does against Keldeo, and what Ice Beam does against Mega Pidgeot and Tapu Bulu. Although again, I would probably not stay in against Tapu Bulu for obvious reasons. Then again, if no, I wouldn't want to stay in and let him Horn Leech off me for free, but I do need to check those other 2 calcs. But yeah, that's pretty much the set right now. I told you a couple of things that I'm waffling back and forth on, the Lycanroc set and what move to run on Solgaleo, and I need to double check whether I did the proper EVs on him, but yeah, that's about it, guys. So, I'm not sure what else to say other than I hope you're looking forward to this Week 4 battle. Again, I'm recording it in advance. I have no idea what my current record is, but if you are excited, go ahead and leave a like, go ahead and leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss a single PGBL battle. I'll see you soon, I guess. It's so weird recording this so far in advance. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you for our Week 4 battle, the Orlando Solgaleo versus the Motown Marowaks. See you then.